Hi, my name is Laura Pazeski, and I am the chair of the editorial board of Perspectives, which is the publication for the American Bar Association's Commission on Women. Today, I am joined by Angela Winfield, who is the Chief Diversity Officer for the Law School Admission Council. In this role, she provides leadership, vision, energy, and a unified philosophy to LSAC's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts on behalf of member law schools and the students who seek a career in law. Welcome, Angela. Thank you for joining me today.
It's absolutely my pleasure, Laura. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you. But to start, I was hoping you could tell us a bit about your role as the Chief Diversity Officer at the Law Student Admissions Council. And I guess before you go ahead, I should start by noting that LSAC is most well known for administering the LSAT, but has many programs and initiatives to support students aspiring to a career in law. So tell me a bit about your work.
Absolutely. And you are right. LSAC offers a variety of programs, and our founding mission is one of access, equity, and quality. That's why we were founded, is to help create access to the profession. And so, as Chief Diversity Officer, I look at my role as helping us stay true to that mission and to that vision. So, I work with a wonderful team to set strategic direction and to set our strategic goals for how can LSAC best advance diversity in the profession. And we provide programs around pipeline programs to help pre-law students better understand what a career in law looks like, what it means to apply to law school, what it means to go to law school. We also provide grants and sponsorship resources to programs that help to diversify the profession. And so I do that internally with my team. We set these goals, we set strategies, and we align our resources to help diversify. And then also I go out, and right now I'm actually involved in a 6-month listening tour where I'm going out and talking with a variety of our stakeholders, pre-law advisors, law schools, pre-law students, law students, various pipelines that aren't even in the profession, as well as legal employers and chief diversity officers at law firms and legal employers to better understand what are the obstacles, what are the challenges, and what are the opportunities out there that we can create to help folks from all identities and all backgrounds pursue a career in law.
That's amazing. What do you enjoy most about your job?
That's a hard question because I really, really love my job, and it's actually a dream job for me. It's part of the reason why I left legal practice. Practicing law was my first love, and I wanted to do it from the time that I was very young. And then I realized that my unique lived experience and perspective could be really helpful in helping legal employers and organizations diversify the profession. So what I love the most about my job and what I enjoy most on the personal side is that it combines my love of the law, my lived experience and passion around diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as experience I have in professional coaching and success coaching. And it combines all of that and it allows me to make an impact. On the impact side of things, because this is another thing that I really enjoy, I love helping people. I really like to find out what are the trouble areas, what are the barriers, and kind of twofold. One, how can I support people through that, right? So they can perform their best and they can achieve the things that they want to. And then on the more institutional and systemic side of things, I'm able to look and say, okay, how do we begin to deconstruct some of these barriers and build new, more inclusive models?
Yeah, that's amazing. And which life experiences do you believe have most informed your approach to your work?
Oh, would it be hubristic of me to say that I think I was born for this job and this work? All my life experiences have been leading up to this point. But no, if I had to narrow it down, I can narrow it down to two life experiences. One is having the parents that I had. So both of my parents, I'm a Black woman, so both of my parents were Black and African American. They were both first generation college students, and they both grew up in very impoverished settings. One, my father was in a more urban setting, and then my mother was from the South and in a more rural setting. But what was instilled in them is the value of education, and they had a very progressive, thought process about education, and they both became public school teachers. So that was pivotal for me, being around that, being raised around that, having expectations that were set very high, but in a good way, that they didn't hold me back from pursuing interests. So that was pivotal for me. That's pivotal life experience. And then the other is the intersectionality of my identities. And probably the one that is most salient is my blindness, right? The fact that I had sight, I was born with sight, and that I went through this process, both gradual and sudden, of losing my sight and experiencing the world both from being an able-bodied person to being a person with a disability, and that really shaped how I looked at myself, how I interacted with other people, how other people viewed me, and it helps me approach this work, this DEI work, in a really empathetic way to know, okay, yes, you can do it, even if you have challenges, even though you may be the only woman in a meeting, or you might be the only person of color in a meeting, or the only person with a disability, or any, combination of that. There's so many aspects of identity. It helps me to be able to put myself in other people's shoes and to think about, okay, what are the obstacles here? And how do we adjust and create solutions that are responsive and thoughtful of those various experiences? So those are the two: love of education and instilling that in me. And then the second is, knowing what it's like to be, the only one of few, or the only.
Yeah, and that actually leads me to my next question, because you authored an article for our Voices column, and in that article you discussed letting go to break through, and I thought that was something that really resonated with me personally. And I guess my question for you is how do you see this as really important to diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I mean, this has become a life mantra for me, is, knowing when to let go, because so oftentimes we hang on to comfortable habits or the things that we know. And when it comes to DEI, the reason why this is so important is because in order to create more access, we really do need to think differently about processes, about structures, and about systems. And we've got to kind of get past the things that, well, this is the way we've always done it, or, this feels comfortable. We've got to move beyond that. And sometimes we've got to let go of what we know, in order to move into a space where we can create something that has the intention and the meaning and the purpose and the level of access and equity that I think many, if not most of us, want to see for the profession. So I think letting go of those things that haven't been working, or haven't been working as well as they could, it's a hard thing to do. And especially, I think, for attorneys, because attorneys tend to be very ambitious. We take a lot of stuff on. We say yes, 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 yes. And then we get going and we never say, wait a minute, what's not working here? And how do I let that go, so that I can focus energy on new things that actually deliver the impact that I want to have?
Yeah, that is amazing, and I don't want to take up more of your time, but I want to thank you very much for speaking with me today. This has been a fascinating conversation, and I will just note as we wrap up that your article is available on the Commission's website. And thank you so much for your time today.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you.